Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? This is KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. We're talking about Rampage and Collision. One podcast for this because we did it last time, and I think it worked out well. 3 hours of AEW going head-to-head with WWE Survivor Series. We all know what happened. CM Punk showed up. Huge night for WWE. I feel like they overall going head-to-head with this, they got the win. And we just had an awesome pay-per-view, Full Gear. And so now we're into this Continental Classic that's going to build all the way to Worlds in the point system. If you want to hear about it, you can hear about it on the Dynamite podcast. I kind of poke fun because it reminded me of the Global Invitational on NXT that they did, the point system and everything like that. But, you know, I was like, who am I to judge? It's just wrestling at the end of the day. We started off, both these shows dropped November 25th, 2023. Rampage kicks it off. We have Hook versus Rocky Romero. Hook looked good. And, you know, there was really no match. I think there's no match that really was like, stuck out to me. You know, Hook and Rocky was okay. Shibata and Yuta package, because we are the main event of Rampage, is Wheeler Yuta versus Katsuyori Shibata in a Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. Hook gets the win. Chris Statlander versus Diamante. Mercedes Martinez comes out, and, you know, Chris Statlander gets the win. And it's kind of funny, is I already forgot. Like, I was like, where's her championship? And I was like, oh yeah, Julia Hart got it. But then Mercedes starts attacking Chris Statlander, and here comes Willow Nightingale. I cannot talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. It's been a long weekend. Willow Nightingale comes out for the save. We have a Daniel Garcia promo package, whatever you want to call it, and it was kind of sad. He was like, yeah, no one considers me to win this thing. You know how that feels? Sucks. Yeah. But I'm going to prove them wrong. Yeah. I'm Daniel Garcia. Now, the Kingdom comes out versus Squash Gang. So, you know, they got the win. But new music? No. I kind of was sad. I was really sad about this. I was like, what the fuck? I love the Kingdom's, you know, and then I was like, oh, okay, I guess we got new Kingdom music. I don't care for it, but okay. Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Oh, they cut a great promo, you know, being neck strong. There was no Roderick Strong with them. You know, the whole neck gimmick thing. Ring of Honor Pure Championship match, Wheeler Yuta versus Katsuyori Shibata, who is the champion, and he kicks him in the balls. And guess what? Wheeler Yuta is now our new Ring of Honor Pure Champion. And I like what Wheeler Yuta had to say on his thing earlier when the package is, he's like, yeah, everyone loves Bryan Danielson. Everyone loves Claudio. Everyone loves Jon Moxley, but nobody loves me. You know, I want that championship back. I want this. And he got it back in a really devious way. Then Hook comes out, so we're building that feud right there between those two. But does this really help Wheeler Yuta? Does the Ring of Honor championships, like, you know, I said this before in the beginning. Now, you can find the original Ring of Honor podcast I did. I just stopped because it just became too much out of the week and stuff like that. But Ring of Honor itself should have contained to be Ring of Honor. Like, especially that weekly show. And it got really messy at times. Too many matches, not really telling any stories. You got your champions all over onto the main roster of AEW and stuff like that, defending those titles. No Athena, you know, no women. The Women's Ring of Honor Championship nowhere to be seen. The Ring of Honor Championship is on the line in this Continental Classic thing. We're gonna get a Triple Crown champion, and it's like, cool. He's Ring of Honor Pure Champion. Like, that's cool. Like, you know, it's frustrating because I loved Ring of Honor. I love Ring of Honor, but what Ring of Honor is right now, it's absolutely nothing. You know, yeah, they got the titles here and there. You got MJF and Adam Cole's still tag team champions. Like, I feel like we can, even the Kingdom mentioned that. They're like, hey, we were this many times tag team champions. We're going to get back at it. And it's just like, when they win it, it's like, okay. They're placeholders at this point, and I don't like that. I don't fucking like that. That's whatever, because it's supposed to be Ring of Honor. Then now we go in that 2-hour collision. We started off with Continental Classic Blue League, Daniel Garcia versus Claudio. I did like this match a lot. I thought Daniel had something to prove. He went toe-to-toe with Claudio. Claudio got the win. Claudio got 3 points out of this. Yuta comes out to celebrate with a new, fresh championship, and Daniel Garcia, I just felt bad for him because I just thought the promo was like, no one thinks he expects you to win this, and then he loses. But he took Claudio to the limit, so we'll see what happens again. In the starting, Eddie, I don't know why Eddie was annoying me. I don't understand why. He has to be Eddie Kingston at all times, and sometimes it's just a little bit too much. Like at the starting of the show, he's like, oh yeah, now is when I talk in this collision, right? I just here to fight. Then it comes back to, how much time do I have? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Can I stop it? I'm like, dude, just cut a promo. God. Because he has this big match at the end of the night with Brody King. Kill Switch versus the Boys. Kill Switch, formerly known as Luchasaurus or Losersaurus, however, because he got rechristened with his new name, new gimmick. He still looks like Luchasaurus. He's just silver now. He's Kill Switch, though. Maybe he could have changed the mask up a little bit, but no. Versus the Boys, of course, he gets the win. Then he starts destroying the Boys, and Adam comes out, hits Kill Switch, and Concerto hits like 2 times with this curb stomp on top of that and everything like that. And he cuts a promo. Well, he goes backstage, and Lexi catches him. And he's like, Lexi, I like you. Go away. And then, of course, we got classic Adam Copeland shaking. Hey, Christian Cage, I'm going to kill you. Classic shaking Adam. I forgot how much I love his angry promos, because he's always like, he should add the snorting. Should make it more, But yeah, he gets mad and he challenges Christian Cage for the TNT Championship on Dynamite for next week when they're in Montreal. So no, not this week, but next week in December. I think December 6th or something like that. So we shall see if Christian Cage answers. And we go into House of Black versus Commander and Gravity. Fun match. Commander always running on the ropes. Always he takes too long sometimes. Great lucha stuff, man. Gravity, Gravity's just one of those people. I'm like, when he shows up, I'm like, he's here. He's there. House of Black for the win, and they will show up later on in the show. And this shit was fucking funny. I don't care what anybody says, but poor Darius Martin, Action Andretti, they're like, hey, they're backstage like, yeah, we've been teaming for this long and blah, blah. But cuts off, goes right to an NBA commercial. I was like, oh. And then a moment of Dante Martin finally returning, top flights, back in full gear, with Dante Martin. Like they show him, they cut to him, and he's like, yeah, and it cuts to another commercial for some, and I was like, oh, what a moment, ruined. And they replayed it later on, but I was like, the big Dante Martin comeback, but nope. It got flushed down the toilet. They replayed it, but I don't think it had the same impact it should have. Julia Hart putting up the TBS Championship versus Lady Frost, and I will say this: Julia Hart's looking fucking badass. Her entrance, her look, she's got it all. And she's a major star in my eyes. I really like this character. I've always enjoyed the spookiness of it. In the beginning, I was like, this is okay, sure. But then as she's grown, and now that she's a TBS champion, and I will say this is to all the fucking wrestling fans out there. I saw this on X, Twitter, Twixter, whatever you want to call it. But someone's like, I went from changing the channel from this Julia Hart rising, coming out beautiful entrance, and switched it over to Survivor Series, and they're arguing about chips, pish posh, AEW all the way. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, go fuck yourself. And you know, I was just like, come on, you know, like trying to compare entrance to a silly commercial that WWE is doing and being like, riff raff, pish posh, dear, AEW, pinkies up. It's like, go fuck yourself, okay? Seriously. I don't know why it annoyed me that much, and yeah, but you're probably saying I got triggered, but I did. I don't care. It's just like, just at the end of the day, let's just enjoy wrestling. It was just one of those things like, look at me, I'm such a superior pro wrestling fan. AEW all the way. It's like, okay, calm down. Calm the fuck down. Well, Julia Hart beats Lady Frost. Don Callis is with Hobbs, and I love the fact that this guy, my dude, Mr. Hobbs, has taken the moniker of I'm black and I'm jacked. You know, like that T-shirt right there. I'm like, oh my God, he's big, he's black, he's jacked. Yeah, and you can't go wrong with that whatsoever. I love the fact that he's taking it on. And now we do the Action Andrade Darius Martin thing again. And bada bing, bada boom, here comes Dante Martin. He's back. Top Flight's back in full gear. Next we have Tony with Big Bill and Ricky Starks. They talked about the Golden Jets, and they talked about the kind of gum they like. You know, I guess Big Bill likes big red gum. And Big Bill said some cool things. He was like, hey, man, when I was having seizures from alcohol, you know, not having any alcohol or anything like that, like, you know, I came back and he said I was washed up and I was this and that, but he's made it back to the top and he's a champion. That's pretty fucking cool, man. Like, I love stories like that. I love the idea of like you can come back from such a dark place, and Bill has done that, and he's now tag team champions with Ricky Starks. And I like what Ricky says. Like, hey, man, we don't even know each other's birthdays. He's like, what's my birthday, Bill? I don't know. See, but we're still like a dominating team. And telling the Golden Jets, like, yeah, they have an opportunity. And Don Callis mentioned something is, I don't understand the math on this. They're the number one contenders? Like, no. So the Golden Jets have a lot of eyes on them, a lot of targets on their back. So the Gold League speaks. That's what we have. They're talking about the tournament on Wednesday and everything, and who's going to be going forward, winning the point system, going all the way to World's End. And next up, we have the Righteous versus FTR. FTR for the win. You packaged the Righteous in so many great ways to be on the radar of AEW. Like, I love the Righteous. Like, I fell in love with them in the Ring of Honor. Like, they're so creepy and weird, you know, and they of course they got this like cult thing going on, kind of like how the Bray did with the Wyatts and everything, but it's just the two of them, and I really like these two. But you brought them in, have them lose. They lose the FTR. Bada bing, bada boom. Get them the fuck out of the ring, because now we have the House of Black come out. And they cut a promo because they're after FTR. And, you know, it's one of those things where... And then I like the fact that he mentioned there's no CM Punk, blah, blah, here for you. And it's like, well... Mr. Punk is about to make a major headline soon as you're going head-to-head with the pay-per-view. Yeah, so it's definitely setting up. But like I said, I just feel bad that the Righteous has been mishandled in certain ways. So Keith Lee versus Lee Moriarty. Keith Lee for the win. There was a spot. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but Lee jumps and like it was like a shoulder shrug. Hit Lee so out, knocked his ass out. 1, 2, 3, it's over. And I was like, oh damn. I was like, is he okay? Can someone check on Lee? You know, and then Keith Lee has a backstage interview. You know, he's talking about Shane Taylor and everything, and how he's like he's superior. He's Keith Lee and everything like that. So it's like whatever. Continental Classic Blue League. Brody King got the win over Eddie Kingston. a man that put his titles on the line. The man that said, like, here, I am so confident in myself. Boom, I'm going to put these titles on the line. And he fucking loses the first one? I know it's a whole point system and we're going to be left in suspense, but really? Brody King beat Eddie Kingston? And don't get me wrong, Brody King's a beast. Brody King is a monster in all sense of the words. But I was like, okay, Eddie Kingston's gonna win this. Nope, Brody King got it. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but he's taking one step back and not be able. I know he ain't gonna win the whole thing. I know that for sure because it's Eddie Kingston, and Tony just has some weird like how he books certain people, and Eddie Kingston's just one of them. He's like, hey, he's Ring of Honor champion, so there we go. You hit the peak in this company, okay? There's no way he's going to the Continental Classic all the way to the end. I just don't see it. But yeah, Brody King got the win. Bada bing, bada boom. 3 hours of AEW. That's a lot. There's a lot going on in the show. These shows. Sorry, Rampage and Collision. No Bryan Danielson. What's funny is like one of the first entries in this Continental Classic is this man, Bryan Danielson, and blah, 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 blah. I'm wondering if he's not cleared yet, but he has a match. I think he's gonna have a match next week, if I'm right. And I think it's against, I can't even tell you right now because my notes are all squishy swashy, but yeah, but it was okay. Rampage, 2 out of 5, Wheeler Yuta winning the championship should be big, but it's not that big. Collision, I honestly give like 3 out of 5. There's some great matches and stuff like that. The Daniel Garcia and Claudio match was my favorite out of tonight. There's just some decisions here that I just didn't really care for that happened this evening. So yeah, 2 out of 5 for Rampage and 3 out of 5 for Collision. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa, share it with the bum down at Walmart. Tell me what you thought of the show. What is your thoughts? And what is your thoughts on my snarkiness towards somebody who was like changing the channels back and forth between WWE and AEW? I didn't mean to go that crazy, but I had to. Because I'm a passionate wrestling fan, as my Princess Leia, my cat, says. She looks at me and always watches me record these podcasts and see my hands flare around and everything like that. So, all right, y'all. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. That's it. That's all. And remember, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Rated R! Boom! Oh, he's back! And he's got his jaw set, and he means business!